Yeah, put on it. Square that shit up. Square that up. Got square too. Yeah. Steaming. Why is that steaming? Looks like I'm making a latte. Not just extra hot? What the fuck? Why is this thing steaming? Did I break it again? Sasha, what the fuck? Maybe it's BC. BC's on fire. What's up, unit? I got a coffee going. Give me a minute, all right? I'm running a little late. It's a Wednesday amplified live. We never do these. Put my lighting down, man. It's the fucking lighting. That's better. Oh, shit. It's done. Let me make my coffee, unit. No, keep playing, man. I didn't tell you to stop it yet. I gotta make my coffee, man. Salud, my unit. What's up? On this fucking Wednesday. Salud. Sugar, like I fucking need it. All right. Cut my music, Sasha. Cut my motherfucking music. Cut my music! Damn it! I said cut the music. I don't know any other way to say it. Sasha! You're doing great. You should get a raise, damn it. I'm gonna give Sasha a little bit of a raise. What's up, everybody? It's a Wednesday. I got a long business trip. I'm gonna try to get a day to just do BC, man. Maybe like a personal day at some point this weekend. But we got a lot of traveling, a lot of business. So what I'm doing is a special amplified live on a Wednesday. We don't usually do this, but we're doing it because you guys are fucking incredible, and because of that, I feel like you should get a bonus amplified live. So fuck yeah, man. Again, this is going to make up for Friday. I don't know if I'm going to be with you guys tomorrow. If I have to leave really early, there will not be one. If I'm able to, it just might have to be a 2 p.m. Eastern time live tomorrow. If I'm able to, I'm not sure. So salute everybody. And I'm going to give a salute again. Just to make this clear, man, to WWE, even if you just don't like WWE, I understand you're not going to like what I'm going to say. But I got to give props to their rating last night, man, or for Monday Night Raw, 2.2 plus. Again, there's 4 reasons for that. 4 reasons. Number 1, obviously it's post SummerSlam. You're going to attract at least 100 G's more from last week's 1.9, so that'll take you to at least a 2.0. There was the huge articles, the word going around that it was going to be a statement show. That'll get you another 100,000 to 2.1. And then, of course, hours before, Sasha Banks was said to be coming back possibly Monday night. That'll attract another 100. There's your 2.2. And, of course, hope. We always say we tune in out of Raw for 10 years now, having a habit and hope. We were hoping. It doesn't matter if it's Triple H, Vince McMahon, old lady Jenkins down the block who's 98 years old and takes fucking 10 years just to get to the mailbox. It doesn't matter who's running it. We're hoping now that somebody else is in a role of power that we're going to get some change. So there was 4 reasons for that. Now, for everybody going out of their way and hailing Triple H, combat roll. That's going back next week, guys, a couple 100,000 up front. That's going to dip under 2.0 again. And I just don't think Triple H should be being bashed because he lost 300,000 or 200. So, so for everybody that says I've just bashed Triple H in the past, or I just don't like Triple H, that could not be farther from the truth. I'm actually sticking up for the dude now. Next week when the rating comes out and everyone's bashing him because he lost 250,000 viewers, that's not his fault, man. There was 4 reasons why that catapulted 350,000 viewers in 1 week. I mean, Triple H's golden touch didn't just happen like that. Or he wish he had that in NXT. So next week, when you see that at under 2.0, just remember, that's not H's fault. That was going to remain around there, man. The fact that it was even hovering 1.9 last week is fucking... It's incredible. Ever since the Vince McMahon investigation, the rating has been fucking going up. Ever since the McMahon investigation, man, that shit has been fucking flying. But I do expect it to go back to around a 1.9 next week, guys. And again, that's not H's fault. So there you go. BC sticking up for it. That's what I always said, man. And if we're being honest, I applauded the changes that we got this week. What BC was saying was, overall, the biggest change for me, when BC's going to say we are rolling on all cylinders, it's when I see the very first captivating storyline. That's when BC is going to really be excited. And people wanted to cry because I didn't think the show was that great. I applauded the changes. I know bigger ones will take time. I got it. I'm not new to the fucking game. I know how this works. But I also know that on day 1, with 5 weeks, 4 now, to go to Clash at the Castle, you should have one story ready to go in the tank that's going to captivate. And there we go. This week, that's exactly how I felt. Hopefully by next week, by Monday night, hopefully we have one match on the Clash at the Castle card. One match, that's all I'm asking for, that has a story that captivates us. Right? MJF Wardlow-esque. You know what I mean? Something. They already know. If you think this company doesn't have at least half that card kind of figured out, at least in their head, they do. So just now, it's just about minds coming together. This doesn't take a long time, guys. The cast of the writers for Stranger Things told a story where at one point they were kind of gut checked for time. They wrote a whole episode in less than a fucking week. An episode of Stranger Things should take a fucking month. Under a week. They just had a couple of creative guys get together. Their producer, the fucking writers of the show, the Duffer Brothers, and they fucking spit it out. It takes a fucking hour to sit down and go, damn, okay, we have these two? Why don't we fucking put out this? What about if they did this? Have fun with it. Stories are best when they're having fun. Fucking, you remember fucking Vince Russo, anybody? Vince Russo and... what was his other name? Fucking, he played Jim Ross in WCW. He used to make fun of him. Fucking Ed something. I know somebody knows what I'm talking about in the chat. Ed, fuck, man. Somebody will put it down in the chat. I know. So anyway, Vince Russo and this guy, Ed, they would watch fucking Jerry Springer and just come out with wacky shit and go, what if? What if we did this with X, Y, and Z? And they would fucking put it out there, and it was fucking amazing. It was fucking epic. Ed Ferreira, thank you guys, man. Ed Ferreira, yes. He went to WCW and he made fun of Jim Ross and oh man, that was kind of horrible. I didn't like that at all, man. I thought that was classless. But the bottom line is, back in the day, that's what you did. You had fun when you wrote, you know, and that's what a lot of people think you need 5-6 months. You need to build up a roster before you can give good storylines. That's bullshit. And if that's the case, cancel Clash at the Castle then. Because why are you even taking people's money if you know you can't give them a good product? No. I hope Triple H builds something amazing in WWE. I'm going to be right there fucking applauding him every week if that happens. But you got to fucking give us good storylines. You just take the wrestlers you have now and just put them in something epic. That's all it takes. Triple H is no stranger to this. Do you guys remember when he had Rikishi run over Stone Cold Steve Austin? What the fuck? That immediately put Rikishi in the fucking thick of things, by the way. It wasn't just superstar Triple H versus superstar Stone Cold, man. Rikishi instantly got fucking catapulted. You make stars from storylines. That's all BC's saying, man. I love having fucking H having a chance to bring life back into WWE. The industry needs this. I'm not bashing the guy just to fucking bash the dude. In fact, I'm not bashing at all. I'm saying there's the things that still need to be fixed that people are thinking are so big, they're actually not. Just take the fucking dudes that you're going to have. If it's Roman and Drew, think of some creativity and captivate the world. Don't just do the status quo where Roman comes out for 2 shows before Clash. He says some words. Maybe Drew comes out. Maybe there's a Claymore on the Usos. And we all sit back and go, give H time, guys. No. There's no reason we should be going into the Clash without something that's grabbing our attention, man. Just grasping, captivating us. Rikishi went and fucking rode over fucking Stone Cold. Triple H fucked a corpse. Does anybody remember the Katie Vick storyline? It was fucking absurd. You know what? We're still fucking talking about it to this very day. Triple H married the fucking boss's daughter on TV. Drugged her and married her in a fucking Corvette and went to a ride-up marriage window. Vince McMahon's in the fucking ring. He's marrying his fucking daughter. How does the story end? He pedigrees the boss's daughter months later. Triple H pedigrees the boss. That's storytelling, bro. You just get creative. You have fun with it. Whatever the matches are for the pay-per-view, you have fun with it. That's how you tell a story. You just don't do the status quo. The same old redundancy, and everybody goes, well, it's going to take time, everybody. They got to think of the story. Well, then do it right now. Perfect time. You got 4 weeks to Clash. Perfect time. That's all we're saying. Storylines. I remember fucking WrestleMania 8, Savage versus Ric Flair. Anybody remember that? The Hoosier Dome? Do you remember the video package they played leading up? It wasn't a bunch of fucking Macho Man's in a match, Ric Flair comes out and beats him up. Ric Flair's in the match, Macho Man comes out, beats him up. No, you know what? There was a story. Ric Flair sabotaged Macho Man's marriage. He made it look like he was having an affair with a Miss Elizabeth. Mr. Perfect went through great lengths. Bobby Heenan went through great lengths to make it look like there was an affair. Macho Man was questioning Elizabeth. They didn't know. It got fucking really personal. The storyline took on a life of its own. Storylines. That's what I'm saying, guys. That's the lost art. That's why... That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Stories, right? I still remember the video package, and it was just all about the affair, and Macho Man just could not wait to get his hands on Ric Flair. You had to get the pay-per-view. You had to get the pay-per-view, man. And for 10 years, we haven't had that. So I'm just raising that concern. While we get the little things, absolutely. The little pieces of nuggets that H is putting up there, and it's going to take time, and those are going to grow, and H is going to get more comfortable. Absolutely. But one of the alarm in Stamford, Connecticut right now, around that boardroom table meeting, the alarm, there should be an alarm. The main thing they should be talking about right now is how can we grasp everybody, captivate everybody's attention for Clash at the Castle? How can we give our audience, right from the jump, a storyline that they can be like, damn, I have to tune into Raw. I have to tune into the pay-per-view. How can we do that? And if these creative minds today cannot think of one fucking story, then everybody's in the wrong business. This does not take 6 months. This takes no building up of characters. Everybody's there right now that can be putting good storylines. Everybody. BC right now can take anybody on that roster, put them with anyone else. If you said, BC, we got to go with these two at Clash, can you think of a good story? Fucking A. Jumpstart the motor vehicle. We're going 180 straight into the fucking wall. Crashing through that son of a bitch, and I'll meet you at the Clash, where we electrify hundreds of thousands of motherfuckers. Millions. It's not that hard. So I'm raising just the question. I applaud the small changes, and I hope we keep getting them, and I know it's going to take time. We'll get bigger changes. That's awesome. What I'm raising the concern is we all just have to let H know one of the biggest things he needs to do immediately is storytelling. That's where this company has lacked bigger than anything else. And you can't create larger than life superstars if they're not in a good story. I mean, one hand washes the other. If people expect larger than life characters to fall from the fucking tree like a fucking coconut. Do you think Goldberg fell from the tree like a coconut? Do you think The Undertaker fell from the tree like a fucking coconut? No, The Undertaker was in fucking graveyards digging fucking graves for motherfuckers. Telling stories. The whole Undertaker is a fucking story. That's how he's so successful. So that's all we're saying. We're not fucking yelling at H. We're being passionate. We're not actually just yelling at H and going, dude, what the hell, man? Why didn't you do this in 1 week, man? Fuck this. No, I didn't enjoy the show as much as a lot of you guys, but that's okay. Different strokes, different folks. I hoped that some of the changes would be a little more impactful, but I applauded the changes that were made. All I'm saying is I'm raising the concern. Let's not forget about storytelling, right? That's something that cannot wait another 6 months, guys. And I'm not even, beggars can't be choosers. I'm not even asking this regime to move mountains. I'm asking for Clash at the Castle. One epic storyline, like an MJF Wardlow type storyline. Not the same exact. I'm saying like something that just jumps off the screen. I mean, you used to get it all the time, guys. All the time we used to get it. And for 10 years, we just don't get it anymore. So the new regime comes in. That's fucking awesome that you want to push Tommaso, your boy. That's cool, man. Applaud. I wish it wasn't at the expense of AJ Styles, but applaud. EO fucking got TV time. I wish it wasn't a fuck finish, but what else could you do? She's in there with Bianca. That should have been held for a pay-per-view, but fuck it. I applaud it. I don't think Vince McMahon is giving EO 18 minutes, so there's no doubt H is trying to do some shit and move shit around, and I applaud the fuck out of that. I think somewhere down the line, people think I just bash H. No, I put out the real stories. Triple H has been an asshole to a lot of wrestlers over the years. A lot of wrestlers don't trust Triple H. A lot of wrestlers don't like Triple H. His kids, like the NXT development, like Black and Gold, they love him because he's Papa H to them. A lot of wrestlers he worked with, they think he's a scumbag. And the stories, they'd make people roll over in their grave. So no, I don't know if I'd ever have a cup of coffee with H unless he wanted to give me a boatload of money and have me work for him. Maybe BC would sell out just a little bit. But I don't know if I'd ever have a cup of coffee with the guy. But guys, I was a big fan growing up, man. H, we would all do the spritz. We would all fucking have a couple of cold drinks and we'd all fucking get a little rowdy and we'd be doing the fucking spritz, man. We'd be Triple H-ing the fuck out. I applaud what that guy did as a heel. He was one of the best heels in the business, the cerebral assassin. I applaud what he did in the Black and Gold. Dusty Rhodes made that shit, but Triple H took it to the next level, no doubt. I wish he could handle Tony Khan, but he buckled under the pressure. He took his eyes off, the focus off the ball, and he dropped it. So McMahon had no choice but to do what he did because the NXT was never making money. But I have nothing but praise on one side of the fence for H. It's just hilarious that people think I just bash H and I just want to see him fail. Fuck that. For 10 years, I've been watching Raw out of habit and hope. The show has sucked for 10 years. I can't wait to see the bigger changes, and I'm going to give the time for him to do such. I can't wait to see changes, man. I'm all with Triple H, Stephanie, if it is old lady Jenkins down the block. 97 with a peg leg, takes 10 years to go get the mail. I don't care if she's in charge. If it's change, BC's down with it. All I'm doing is I'm reminding everybody, all the changes that are going to be made mean nothing if you don't have good storytelling. So, anybody that thought I was just bashing H, go, guess what? Bullshit, because I'm congratulating the 2.23. And the fact that people have been so frustrated for 10 years that they tuned in. Yes, it was post SummerSlam. Yes, a lot were thinking Sasha was going to show up. Yes, a lot of people heard that it was going to be a statement show and they thought bigger changes were going to be made and they weren't. But a lot of people just thought, okay, this is it, man. Habit and hope, and this is the time. It's hope. Hope. I'm going to tune in to give this company another chance. So if Triple H helped to progress that, that's awesome. And I'll applaud that. And I'll go as far to say when next week, when they drop off a few 100,000 in the rating, because they will, because I just told you it was a perfect storm why they went up 350,000 from last week. But so when H goes under 2.0, I hope people don't bash him. On this channel, I will not be bashing Triple H because the rating goes back to under 2.0 next week, because it's going to. I will not be. So think about that whenever people go, oh, basically just doesn't like Triple H. Bullshit. Bullshit. I call everything fair in this in this industry. Everything, man. And if people don't like that or they think I'm biased to what, then they don't watch the fucking channel religiously. And with me, I'm like the fucking gospel. Literally. I mean, with my vid, you got to listen to the minute one to the last minute because it's going to be jam-packed with facts. You know, it sounds like I'm angry at somebody because I'm always yelling passionately, but no, I have no anger right now to try. I'm pulling for Triple H. I hope these changes continue and we see bigger ones and we get real big storylines. I'm hoping Triple H succeeds leaps and bounds farther than he ever did at Black and Gold. I will be right there supporting. I'm just saying, one of the very first things that happened to happen was a big story on Monday. Right from the jump, you have to start with a big bang, and they didn't. So I raised concern. Okay, enough is enough. That's done. Let's think to the future. This upcoming Monday, next week, I hope they have a good storyline, like a big one, right? We'll give them an extra 7 days for one. I'm just asking for one story. And in the process, you make some stars. It's the easiest way to make stars. It's not collecting W's. AJ Styles, Alexa Bliss, they've been collecting W's every week. They have no direction. W's don't mean shit if you're not putting them in something relevant for your audience to give a fuck about. Salute, unit. You guys are the best, man. I know you guys know that, but it's funny. You know, you have the fair weather type of viewers. You know, they come in and out of BC's vids every now and again. They're just like, wow, man, how do you not support Triple H? This is what you've been waiting for. I do. So now it's my job more than ever to make sure it's being done right, to help. I'm going to try to help now. Shit, we're in the best position ever to get change. So now let's not lose focus. We don't want to just go to long wrestling matches with no storylines, right? Banger after banger after banger. Because what we're doing is, number one, we're giving away pay-per-view matches on free TV. Number two, you're taking up all the TV time with longer matches. Yahoo! But you're not allowing any time to tell stories. So by the time the pay-per-view comes around, nobody gives a fuck. You're already seeing one banger after another every fucking match. You got to remember, it is a television show. You got to remember, there's still theatrics. You got to remember, it's still entertainment. Otherwise, we're just watching predetermined, planned out in advance, glorified scripted gymnastics. I mean, that's all we're doing, man. I mean, these days, people are willing to do tournaments over storylines. Nah, don't worry about storylines, BC. They're going to do a tournament. Or how about this one? BC, the tournament is the storyline. What are you talking about? One fucking dude just scripted out a whole pre-planned tournament that we now have to take a month to find out who the fucking scripted best in the world is? That's the story? And these days, we do one fucking tournament after the other. There's a tournament every time you fucking turn around. But that's today's wrestling fan, right? They're willing to put up with tournaments over storylines. Or they say, the tournament is the storyline, BC. Well, fuck, are you captivated by these tournaments? Is it really proving who the best in the world is, like it's the NFL playoffs, the fucking Major League Baseball playoffs, the NBA? Once in a while, okay, you know, we could do the King of the Ring, for instance. If you want to do the Owen Hart once in a while, okay. But not every time there's a vacant championship. Well, that was a long, cold open. What's up, everybody? In a way, it kind of leads over to MJF, though, man, right? Because MJF was the last big storyline that we experienced in pro wrestling. Like a real off the screen. You're really invested. You actually do have to tune in to find out what happens next. The real big storyline is MJF and Wardlow. So I think it's time to start asking, first of all, where the fuck is MJF? Like at first, okay, we're going, all right, this is storyline clearly, right? I mean, they removed him instantly. Tony Khan refuses to talk about it. Nobody will talk about it. I mean, it just seems like it's a storyline, right? Okay, so a month passes by. So then we start going, well, it's the long, slow building story, right? We're going old school. We're doing the long-term storytelling, right? The long, slow burn. So you say, okay, but you got to be careful because you're going to ruin the momentum there, man. Right? I mean, you want to stick with the momentum. Like the CM Punk. You guys remember when CM Punk took off from WWE? And then he came back. Or was it when he won the championship and then he came back like a few weeks later and confronted John Cena and they both held up their championship? Now, you could have prolonged that easily a month. 2 months is pressing it. The momentum would have died down. But you could have prolonged that a month or a little bit more. But he came back a couple weeks later. And you remember that reaction. You remember when they ended Raw and Punk is looking at Cena. Cena's looking at Punk. They're both holding their fucking titles up. I mean, it was electrifying. They struck at the right time, I felt. Now, there's some people that do say that should have went on a few weeks longer. Punk should have stayed at home, whatever. I disagree wholeheartedly because they struck at the perfect fucking time. The right crowd, the right time, the right strike for momentum. And there was a few times already where I thought if they're going to do something with MJF, or at least say something, prolong the story, they could have struck. They should have. But we let it play out. Okay, maybe they got something big going on. Okay, so we let month number 2 go by, July. Because this happened on June 1st, I believe, was MJF's pipe bomb, correct? I'll put it in quotes. I don't want to overstep CM Punk's title. But I believe this was June 1st, I believe, was AEW's MJF pipe bomb. So you got all of June, nothing. So you think it's a long-term storytelling. Okay, so you go through July. All of July, nothing. We are now into August. What is today? August 3rd. Nothing so far. Nothing seems to be fucking being printed up for the next week or two. I mean, at this point, I think it's clear to say momentum is to the wayside. I mean, now when he comes back, you're going to have either a lot of fans are going to check out because there's been injuries too. AEW has not been the best of shows. This is from their audience. I haven't been watching. AEW diehards have been saying the show hasn't been up to par. Last week was much better than the week before, at least. But with injuries and the show hasn't been what it once was, people have left. New people have joined on. So by the time MJF comes, guys, there's going to be a chunk. You got to remember, this is a company that isn't like WWE who's fucking around with 2.2 in the rating. This is a company that's trying to get, right now, they're fucking with 850 to 950 usually. So if you're taking 150 even, of 150,000 of that 850 or 950, that's a chunk of your audience that has to be reacclimated to where the fuck this dude even was. 3 months of nothing when he was the hottest motherfucker in the business. And to see AEW struggling like it was for a few weeks there, look to be back 970. We'll see if they can pull something around that tonight. The card looks a little weaker, obviously, than last week. But 3 months. And there's no telling if he even comes in August, guys, comes back. I mean, you could be talking maybe people would start to talk all out in September 4th. And we're just saying if this is storyline, guys, just so you know. If this is storyline, I feel like they're dropping the ball, and I love long-term storytelling. I'm old school. I think most fans that grew up 80s, 90s, I think any of us will tell you we love long-term storytelling, if done correctly. We've seen long-term storytelling that sucked, and it should not have been. But with today's fan, Bryan Danielson named them perfectly. They are fickle. A lot of them are fickle, and they'll jump around. They say they like one thing, they don't, blah, blah, blah. But I love long-term storytelling when done correctly. Tony Khan versus MJF, fucking brilliant. But to wait 3, possibly 4 months if they do go into September, I mean, is the momentum even going to be there anymore? Are they going to have to work triple as hard, quadruple, just to fucking get the fans excited to the point where they once were. That's if it's storyline. There's still word out there that no matter what, we know that the fact is they actually did have beef. I hope you guys know that. That was like real. MJF was actually IRL, man. In real life, he was pissed off because Khan was paying WWE guys a ton of money. So they did have those arguments. This had nothing to do with Tony Khan being pissed off of MJF's promos, by the way. You guys remember that. Tony Khan thought that he was going too far in his promos. MJF got pissed off at Tony Khan. Said, you want me to be myself and help pull the fucking ratings, but you're not going to let me do that? That's separate. Money is when they really clashed. And he felt he should just be being paid a lot more. Now, guys like Chris Jericho defended Tony Khan, and they said, you signed the contract, he's obligated. You can't bitch about it now. And I know there's a lot of you guys that feel the same way. Hey, you signed the contract, that's the deal. But I don't think you guys understand how instrumental, how mega MJF was for AEW at a time where they needed him to be. MJF was their top ratings draw. When they started putting CM Punk at the beginning of the show, that's only when CM Punk overtook him for the top ratings draw in AEW. That was the only time, and then they stuck it there, right? They kept putting CM Punk in the first segment. Who was saying that for weeks, by the way, when I was reviewing AEW? This guy, BC. I was telling you guys, CM Punk is not bringing in what they thought he was going to. He seems like another spoke on the wheel. Maybe start playing around with the first segment. That's one of the biggest rating. That's when your audience has the remote in their hands, and they're wondering if they should stick around or not. Well, when they see CM Punk, maybe a lot will. And Khan did it, and it worked, so he kept doing it. Now, even when he got bumped to Seg 2 or Q3, Q6, even if it was Q6, right before where Khan likes to put the ladies in Q7, but even if it was Q6, MJF was pulling in some of the highest ratings that AEW was seeing. AEW, when you think of storylines, MJF was headlining all of them. The Wardlow one, the Chris Jericho one, what he had going with even Sean Spears, even though he came back to him, man. There was sometimes FTR. What they did with FTR in their mega push right now, FTR will tell you MJF had a huge hand in that. When he was treating Wardlow like shit, do you guys remember FTR was like, nah, we can't do that to him? And that's when people started to see a different side of FTR. You started to see the winds of change through MJF's vessel. I mean, that's when you know you got a good storyline, when you're helping to create other stars and you're not even facing them one-on-one yet. But everything MJF touched was turning to gold. So at what point do you go to your boss and say, boss man, we have a problem. I do feel I'm worth more, and I'm under contract till 2024. You got me going all the way through 2022. You got me going all of 2023. Can we work something out where I'm getting the value that I know I'm worth? And if Tony Khan literally just said, no, bro, new number, who this? That's fucked up. I could see if he's like a little bit of a ratings draw, right? He's number 4 or 5, right? Hey, good job, kid. You're doing what I hired you to do. Just because it's working, that means I'm smart. You signed the contract. I hired you to do a job. You're doing it well. You're number 4, number 5 in the ratings. That's great. But when you're number 1, thank you, the fucking Cody feud as well. You can keep going down the list. I mean, MJF storyline-wise, and I'm talking real stories. Not just a feud. They just don't come down the aisle and beat each other up. Like, really, you're feeling it, man. I mean, the promos are coming to life. But when you're the number 1 ratings draw, and even when they put Punk in Q1, and you continue to be the highest rating, or right under Punk when they did move him to Q1, at what point do you give the dude more money? So we heard that was a real fight. That was a real backstage battle. Not physically. We don't think so. Verbally. So that was literally a week after they came to blows for Khan reprimanding MJF in his promos. He's taking it too far. That's 2 backstage battles within a week. So conceivably, this could be real, right? He literally took his ball, went home, and told Khan to fuck off. And Khan literally doesn't want to talk about it. I still feel like it's 51-49 storyline, and they're just botching this right now by taking it too far. I mean, there's long-term storytelling, and there's momentum dying. And you're not going to find too many fans bigger of MJF than BC. Everything about the dude is magical. So for me to say that, like, the momentum is fading, if not fucking dying, that's a problem. So if this is storyline, they have to rectify it. If this is not story and this is real and this dude just took his ball and went home, now you have to ask the question, is the grass greener on the other side? Are these the last two puzzle pieces that need to be put in place in WWE for MJF to go, shit, now I know that if I go to WWE, I won't become a manager. Like fucking, or somebody like Maximum Dupree, or whatever the fuck LA Knight became. Right? With Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And he's already buddies with Brewster Pritchard. I mean, he's got a regime there, depending on how much Vince lets happen. Vince still has the reins. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother discussion. But let's just say that H and Stephanie, by this point, by whenever he's allowed, right, either 2024 or Tony Khan actually lets him out of his contract. Could happen. Happens all the time. So let's just say MJF is able to get out before 2024. I mean, is the grass greener? He's going to get a much bigger payday. You have to believe somebody like MJF, Triple H would work well with, right? Or maybe not. Chat, do you think Triple H and MJF would butt heads or get along? In fact, hold that shit, man. I'm not just going to look at yes or no. My question to you guys, I'm going to put up on a poll. Would MJF work well with Triple H? So participate if you can, guys. In the next 10 seconds, your chat is going to come up with a poll. And it's just a question that I'm asking. Would MJF work well with Triple H? I mean, it's an interesting dynamic. And you could do, think about what they could do with Stephanie. I mean, you want MJF as a heel, no doubt. He's the best as a heel, but if you're going to do a authority storyline, right, where MJF is just pissing you off because he won't listen, he's saying whatever he wants, he's doing whatever he wants, like Stone Cold used to do back in the day. Could you imagine the promos in the storyline with Stephanie McMahon and MJF? Could you fucking imagine MJF and Stephanie McMahon in a storyline? This would obviously integrate Triple H. Goosebumps. Fucking goosebumps, bro. And if you truly don't have to worry about Vince McMahon fucking your character up, I mean, guys, the grass could easily be greener on the other side. Because that was the whole thing back in the day. The whole thing back in the day was MJF can never go to WWE. He's an AEW lifer because Vince will never know what to do with him and fuck him up. But if H and Stephanie, by that point, have a ton of power, a lot of the keys, they're never going to truly have all the keys to the kingdom. Vince McMahon will have that master key. But if Vince McMahon allows them a lot of the keys and they can open up a lot of those rooms, and MJF doesn't have to worry about Vince, could you imagine the storylines? Could you imagine when Cody comes back? Cody and MJF in WWE? Bro. With the cuffs off and Triple H and Stephanie leading the way? Where are you guys at on the 100 plus of you guys have voted? 80% of you guys think MJF would work well with Triple H. I think so too. 20% say no. I'm interested to see if those that say no, do you think that's going to be because MJF wouldn't work well? Or do you think Triple H would butt heads with MJF? I wonder what those no people are thinking. Could be right. We've never had this experiment before. BC is just thinking like, it just came to me. One of my favorite dudes in the business is MJF, and it just dawned on me that we are on month 3, and there's no trace, no word, no nothing. And again, I'm all for long-term storytelling, but fuck, bro, when even BC feels like the momentum is starting to slide a little, and you are bringing in different fans, and other fans are leaving, and AEW could really use them, this dude has to start, if this is a storyline, he's got to get with it now, man. Tony Khan has to start the process. All Out has to be the cap. But if it's not, BC was thinking, like, with Stephanie and Triple H, wouldn't this be the best time? Ego. Alexi. Yeah, you're right, man. MJF does have... But it's different than Punk, right? Like, Triple H, Paul Levesque, could not stand CM Punk. Could not stand him. Thought he was a narcissistic, egotistical prick. But Punk, Phil Brooks, always said that he felt that way about Levesque. So I guess it is a little bit of... If you see your exact self in somebody in a different way, maybe you just don't like them. That's funny, man. Yeah, Prime Killer, is that true? I think I remember something like that. Did Triple H cut MJF at Tough Enough 2015? Not that I think you're lying, brother, but I just want to make sure that before I say that, man, that was actually legit. But I thought I did remember something like that. Oh, man, then that's more stuff. Oh, bro, you could use that. Oh, JR9, he just auditioned for it. Okay, yeah, I remember there was some connection with Tough Enough. Oh, that sucks, man. If Triple H cut him in Tough Enough, you could use that. Oh, man. BC just had a whole fucking monologue ready to go, bro. I'm already booking for WWE again, man, if you gave me H, MJF, Stephanie all on the mic. Oh, man. Triple H handpicks. Stephanie McMahon handpicks somebody that has to now go against MJF. But then you kind of slide him a little bit more face. Or he could just be the rebel, man, just in a different way. Obviously nothing like Stone Cold, but just that rebel where he's going to get that pop no matter what. I don't know. The bottom line is we're now at that point, right? BC was chilling out for 2 months, right? I was on board with because I felt this was 51-49 storytelling. So I sat back for 2 months and I let long-term storytelling take place. But then I started to see AEW struggle. I'm starting to see people saying they no longer watch AEW. I'm starting to see AEW get some new fans. Now's the time where they got to start thinking he's got to come back. All Out is like it, right? September 4th, that's it, man. I don't see how you can take this into the fall, winter. And if it's not storyline, then Tony Khan should just probably... Fuck, I don't know. Do you let him out? I mean, do you let him go to WWE? Or if you're Tony Khan, do you just be an asshole and you just literally keep this guy till 2024? What do you got? Chat, good guy or asshole? What do you play if you're Tony Khan and MJF wants out? Do you play the good guy and you let him out? And you hope that goodwill and good faith will come back, right? Karma will come back and do something nice for you. Or do you be an asshole? You look out for your business. You look out for your company. And you say, fuck no, you ain't going over there, bitch. TK's got the money, no doubt. I don't know how much he's willing to... I don't think he's that high on MJF. I think MJF got organically so over. And Tony Khan was just kind of like, I got to put you out there. I don't know how much he's willing to pay for him. Good guy. Yeah, you guys don't know, right? You don't know if you should let him go or not. If you're in... I'm talking... If you are the owner, if you are Tony Khan, are you letting him go this year, maybe early 2023? Or are you going to be an asshole and keep him till 2024? Yeah, Daniel, good guy. Only if Vince is running things, because then you know he's going to be fucked. I like that answer. But it's not. It's H and Stephanie that are day-to-day, supposedly. We'll see how much they have. Alexi says, I'll be a fucking asshole. Look out for my company. It's interesting, man. This is where we are. Guys, this isn't just discussion. Everything I'm saying, I mean, we're there right now with MJF. I mean, he literally, if he comes back, this is what's happening. The momentum's starting to die off. New fans are coming in. Other fans are leaving. They gotta work quadruple as hard now to start that story with him and Tony Khan. If Tony Khan even wants to be in a story with MJF. So that's what BC is saying. The time is now to start planting those seeds. If All Out is if we're waiting till September. Or if it's not storyline, guys, this is very, very real. MJF wants to fuck out. And Tony Khan right now has to make a decision. Am I going to let this guy out eventually before 2024, or am I going to be the ultimate prick? We're having fun with this right now and just talking about it. But these are two very real situations, whether this is a work or whether this is real. Big decisions have to be made with MJF because the time is up, man. He's one of the biggest superstars in the world. And he did that in a company that was not even established with a name, his name, that wasn't even known to many people. That's how you know this dude was special. He did that without the WWE machine. And he's just been fucking MIA for over 2 months now. 3 months we are on. Something eventually is going to have to give, man. There comes a time where you go, okay, there's long-term storytelling, and there's where's the fuck is Waldo? Remember what Corny said, man. Listen to Corny. Corny, man, gives no fucking... I know some people don't like Corny, but listen to this fucking scathing take on MJF. Corny says, I wasn't involved with the discussions, don't know anything about the backstage, but MJF comes out on television when everybody knows about it in the news, and he cuts that promo. He says, fire me, motherfucker, and all this other stuff. And it was great. Like you said, he was the hottest guy in wrestling. He says, that's what I'm talking about, mismanagement. Like Bryan Danielson when he was the hottest thing and he gets thrown into the Blackpool Combat Club. So Tony Khan didn't capitalize on Bryan Danielson. He says, you've got something here with MJF. Why are you not capitalizing on it? He has something with FTR. Why are you not capitalizing on it? He goes on to say, Tony just goes about his shit depending on how much Adderall he took last week. Corny's fucking cray, man. So what I am saying is something better happens soon, or they have lost out on MJF being the hottest wrestler in the business. Again, I'm going to repeat that from Corny. Whether you take his... I know he usually disses AEW, but what you guys don't know about Corny, Cornette is actually high on MJF. Cornette has actually said a lot of really good things. That's how you know. I mean, when you can turn fucking Corny... When you can make Corny fucking like you and you're in AEW, you know you're doing something right. Corny says, so what I'm saying is something better happens soon, or they have lost out on MJF being the hottest wrestler in the business. Now, this is a dude that knows a little something about long-term storytelling. And when this guy is telling you, bro, the one good thing they have, they're shitting on this too long now. I can't believe he said that about Tony. What did he say? Why are you not capitalizing? Instead, Tony just goes about his shit depending on how much Adderall he took last week. Fucking Corny, bro. This dude is nuts, bro. This guy has no filter either, man. He's like BC, but I like to think I'm a little fucking more. I'm not that fucking much of an ass. I like to think anyway. Maybe I am. Who the fuck knows? Oh, by the way, congrats to Christopher. Oh no, Christopher Daniels is staying in his role. Who just went up, man? Several people just got promoted over at AEW. Madison Rayne, QT Marshall, Sanjay, I believe. Man, I can't get the list up. I think there was a couple more, too. There was a lot of promotions. So Tony Khan is finally letting people take the fucking reins. Or at least take on more responsibility. He finally learned you can't do it all, dude. It ain't going to work that way. Yeah, Corny is fucking... Yeah, Sanjay Dutt. Yeah, I think he got... Pat Buck. Thank you, guys. Pat Buck as well. So salute to them, man. You always like to see people get promoted and all that shit, man. And that's why, just like I started this thing, that's why I say props to Triple H too, man. You know, no matter how I feel about him or the stories that were told about him personally, like how he treats wrestlers that are not his kids in NXT, regardless, you know, we got to support the dude. And because this is our best hope for change in WWE, I can tell you that much. Yeah, Pat Buck. Schiavone, yes, Jared Hyde, yeah. Tony Schiavone, you guys know I love Tony Schiavone. I just think Tony Schiavone is so awesome, man. I would love to crack a fucking coffee with Tony Schiavone. Shivani got promoted as well. He's like fucking a lead producer now with the talent. So a lot of big shakeup in AEW, a lot of promotions. I think this is telling that Khan knows, man. If you're gonna compete now with Triple H's, Stephanie's WWE, whether Vince is coming back ever or not, how much he still has control, it doesn't even matter what we feel. If Tony Khan is gonna face Triple H Part 2, because Tony Khan whooped H's ass, NXT AEW, but now with WWE, if they're gonna try to do anything, be the talk of the town. You can't do everything yourself. You can't do it. And for those of you that think this isn't going to be competition, AEW, WWE, right? They're Wednesday nights. Let WWE be Mondays and Fridays. BC, don't talk about competition with them. Guys, that's Triple H. All the people are already coming out in this business, in those walls, and they're saying this is personal for Triple H. You think he just got beat so badly by AEW, Tony Khan, he's just going to let it go? Fuck no. Triple H is on a fucking mission now. If he can, he's going to try to put AEW out of business. Do you think it's a coincidence that NXT is staying up against AEW on September 4th? When AEW goes for All Out, do you guys realize NXT is putting on an event the same time on the same day? And they gave the whole last week, they had meetings. Triple H could have pulled it. They refused. Do you think that's coincidence? No, he's not doing that to beat All Out. All Out is going to beat NXT in the numbers. You got to believe that. He's doing it to hurt them. What did Freddie Prinze and all them? They just called Triple H petty. He's a petty Betty. Well, CM Punk always called him pet. Everyone calls him petty. Well, if you think he's just going to lay down, Triple H is bringing the war, man. He's going to want to hurt them, cripple them. You're starting off with a fucking bang, even though there was other factors, as I said. A 2-2, and that is going to go under 2.0 next week. I hope people just don't jump off the fucking the new wave bandwagon all of a sudden, right? Oh, there it goes, man. All this hope for change, and now it's back under 2.0. Told you Triple H would fail. No, we can't do that, man. You still got to support. It's going to go under 2.0. You know? The building shit takes time. Storylines takes right now. That can be done right now. Just takes some creativity. 2 dudes, 5 dudes, 10 dudes, sit down, some females, whatever the fuck. You sit down and you just get creative. That's all it takes, man. Man, that's a lot of good. This is probably one of the best Amplified Lives we've done just discussion-wise. Usually I'm throwing out a lot of news. This was a lot of just discussion, man. Oh, I have to end the poll. My bad, guys. That's been up for a minute. 200 almost, man. Maybe I'll let that go to 200, man. And we don't need to, though. 80% it stayed on. 80% say that MJF would work well with Triple H. And I respect the 20%, by the way. Whoever did say no, I respect the hell out of you guys, too, because I could see how ego might clash with one or the other, or maybe both. But I have to stay optimistic to think that would work. And I'm just thinking about the promos and the storyline. Stephanie and MJF going at it to the point where the hubby, Papa H, has to come down, defend his wife. Could you imagine MJF face-to-face with H? And I could just do so much fun with that. I know MJF is better as the heel, but he could still play that vibe. Man, you could do so much fun shit. JR9, did they pull 649? I didn't catch it yet. I do want to catch some of it. Was it a good show this week? 649 is really good for... see what I mean? That's where the hope is. A lot of people are even hoping NXT gets onto the map by proxy of maybe Triple H in this whole change era. 650 is not fucking bad at all, man, for what NXT fluctuates. Was that a good show this week, NXT? Same show. I'm on a delay, so you guys probably aren't hearing me till like a fucking minute later. MJF versus Seth Rollins. Yeah, MJF versus so fucking many people. And now that they give them more minutes, not only would we be getting good storylines, which I'm fucking big on, you also have the match time to back it, especially at a pay-per-view. MJF should not be having any of these free matches with guys like Seth Rollins. Decent. Pretty good this week. New tag champions, I heard, Jared9. At least they didn't throw the belts in the fucking trash like the WWE titles, the WWE tag titles, or maybe they should. Who the fuck knows? Guys, that was badass discussion. I'm not done yet. I want to say what's up and a shout out to my VIPs. I know we're going over an hour, it looks like, but VIPs come first. Hold on. Where the fuck are we? Ron C 23 $4.99. What up, Ron C 23? Good to have you up in here, man, on a special Wednesday edition of Amplified Live. We usually don't do these. But I got a long travel schedule this weekend. It's going to be a long, long weekend. I don't even know if I can do SmackDown this week, man. I have to see if I can get time. Ron C says, BC, I have learned so much since I have joined the Amplified unit. Keep dropping those bars. Yeah. Rocket to the stratosphere. Ron C 23, I appreciate it, man. What I like to do, what I hope to come across is that I'm not trying to lecture, even though we have fun and say Professor BC is in classes in session. I try not to lecture. I try to just give facts so we can all come to at least be on the same page. We can always have our different likes and dislikes, different objectives, disagree with one another. But on the big issues, I like to have us on the same page so that we can help create change, right? So Ron C23, I appreciate that you understand that, man. You'll be surprised. There's a lot of people that find the channel. They love it. They're like, oh, BC's awesome, man. I found this new YouTuber. He's amazing. This podcaster's great. And then they hear something they disagree with, and they're like, oh, no, earmuffs. Earmuffs. This guy's fucking nuts. Why is he saying this? So Ron C23, I appreciate that, man. Chris Underwood, $4.99. Chris Underwood, haven't seen you in a minute, dude. Good to have you up here in an impromptu Wednesday Amplified Live. Here's another coffee for the Amplified man. Cheers, my brother. Chris, appreciate that, dude. Never needed, always appreciated. More so, it's good to see you up in here, Chris. Tried and true from the past. I don't get to see too often. So, Chris, I appreciate that coffee, man. I'll give you a salute live. Sam Byers, man. Just showing the love. No words needed by Sam. Just stopping by, smashing the up, showing the love. So Sam Byers, let me show it right back, man. Much respect. Prime Killer, one of my tried and trues up in this bitch, 5 spots, says, I would like to see an AEW storyline where MJF somehow gets control of AEW and books the shows like how Vince would WWE just say, fuck you to TK. Prime Killer, first of all, I just want to see MJF back so he can be in a storyline. Number 2, I will take that shit. That's going to take commitment if you're going to do that. Tony Khan's a little all over the place. But Prime Killer, if Tony Khan's going to commit, BC will be down with it. I might have to start watching again. Prime Killer, I may have to start watching again if you're going to put MJF in. I'm always going to watch MJF shit no matter what. Let me just put it that way. Whether I watch Dynamite or not because we got some beef, AEW and BC, I'm always going to follow along with MJF because he's that special of a talent. Prime Killer, I'm down with that. Jane Donnelly with a coffee sticker. Jane Donnelly. I see that, dog. Much love and respect over to Jane Donnelly. Malatis Matacolo. I hope I didn't butcher that, man. Mahalatase. I'm going to fucking get that right. Malazzi Matacolo. Mind if I say it like that anyway? Because it sounds badass. 35 says, hey, BC, Moto here. Oh, I'll say Moto. I like that. Moto. I appreciate that. Hey, BC, Moto here. Great show. Do you remember Guerrero and Mysterio storyline and Evolution versus Goldberg storyline? Evolution and Goldberg, no doubt. And Evolution was done perfectly from the jump. Evolution, from the time they did the Randy Orton turn, first of all. Do you guys remember when they turned? I'm going to take this a little broader, if you don't mind, Moto. And I appreciate the coffee, dude. Coffees. Do you guys... let me add this. Let me end this poll, man. That's becoming a distraction. 81% of you guys say MJF would work well with Triple H. I'm kind of in the same boat on that. Guys, do you remember when Batista had Randy Orton up on his shoulders? And they just celebrated Orton. I think he just became the youngest world champion, heavyweight champion in history. Am I correct? Somebody will correct me in the chat, but I think he just won the heavyweight championship, or it was a big moment for Randy Orton. Batista has him up on his shoulders. He turns around. Triple H is up there like giving him the thumbs up, like in my thumbnail. Stephanie McMahon's giving MJF the thumbs up. And then he just goes, boom. He just thumbs up, thumbs the fuck down, bro. And Orton knows something's, he goes, no. He knows it's et tu, Brute. And sure enough, Batista just drops him. It was one of the best turns I've ever fucking seen. You kind of knew it was coming eventually. You didn't think it was coming like that or that soon. And it was just fucking brilliant, guys. Anyway, what maybe I put on Evolution? Why was I talking about Evolution? Oh, yeah. Mozo is talking about the Evolution Goldberg story. Everything flowed beautifully because it started off epically. Evolution, just the participants. When you see Triple H with Ric Flair and Batista and Randy Orton, and you remember all the fucking vignettes? Do you remember their Titantron? They're getting out of the fucking jet planes, the limousines. They're fixing their cufflinks. They got the fucking $10,000, $15,000 watches. Man, it was special. You knew you could never recreate the Four Horsemen. You knew that. But Evolution came pretty damn fucking close if they wanted to. Of course, they didn't want to be that long-term lived, and it wasn't. And you did have one of the Horsemen in there, technically. You had Ric Flair, but yeah, the Goldberg one, and what was the other one? Guerrero Mysterio. Remind me of that, please. What was the big captivating story high point? Because there was a lot between Mysterio and Guerrero. What was the big hierarchy standpoint? I don't know if you're still up in the chat or anybody that remembers the high point in Mysterio and Guerrero. Please remind me. Oh, the custody. Was that when they actually used Dominic? They actually used little Dominic, man. JR9, yeah, bro. The custody of Dominic. Of course, bro. Oh, man, my bad. Of course. They used him, man. They actually brought him in. You get to see a little Dominic, man. Of course I remember that. Yes, dude. That's when storylines took precedent. Yup. Oh, wow, man. You're bringing me back on that shit. Yup. Dominic was actually, a lot of people don't even realize that. A lot of people started watching after that shit. Because when was that? You guys are saying 2004? Or 2005? Yeah, a lot of people started watching just after that. Big time. Anyway, man, I love Blast from the Past. Moto. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the coffees. Memory Lane, too. Savage, 1024 The Punisher with a 5 spot says Santana also wants to go to WWE after his contract is up. I think Blood and Guts is his last match in AEW. Santana wants to go. See, I didn't know too much about that. Santana's contract is February 23, correct, guys? I think Santana's contract ends February 23. So if Santana actually wants to go to World Wrestling Entertainment, he's going to be able to much sooner than MJF. Does Triple H take Santana and Ortiz, you would have to think? Or maybe by himself, who the fuck knows? You guys don't think Triple H would want Santana? I don't know. Yeah, Guerrero said he was Dom's dad. Guerrero said he was Dom's dad. Oh, man. How much does this make you miss Eddie Guerrero even more? Like when you think of just his wrestling and his entrance and the fucking him in that fucking Cadillac, it is just like everything about him, man. And then you think about the storylines and how wild they were. Like saying you're fucking Dominic's father, bro. Come on. And who better than Eddie? Who better than Eddie? Who better than Canyon? Anybody remember Canyon? I'm all over the place, man. When you start bringing me back to the past, man, I'm going to be coming up with all this fucking shit. Crazy characters from the past, storylines. Who's your poppy? Anyway, Santana, nobody really has too much to say about. I believe, I don't know the exact date. I think Santana's contract with AEW runs out in February, so he'd have a better chance to go over way before MJF if MJF's deal is legit. Savage 1024, the Punisher with a 10 spot, says, if I was running AEW, I would push a select few people. The first would be Santana, the second would be MJF, the third would be Wardlow, and Jay Lethal, and the women would be Britt Baker and Jade. Britt Baker, no doubt. No matter who's the champion, Britt Baker is always going to be that standard bearer, right? Unless they pull somebody like a Sasha Banks or something. And that's BC telling you that I got much love for my girl Athena, once known as Ember Moon. But Britt Baker is just, even as a heel, she's the top of the echelon. Now, Jade Cargill is becoming a beast within the fucking beast. I'm loving what I'm seeing from her. But Britt Baker is that female. So she should always, whether she's in a title picture or not, Britt Baker should always be in a top storyline, a big storyline. Always make her feel special. So I absolutely agree with that. As far as Jay Lethal, Savage, that's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, so I'm with you. It's a fucking shame that he's always hidden on Rampage. But such is Tony Khan, such is life. And yeah, MJF is obviously, I'm glad he's in your top 3. Santana, it seems like you're pretty high on, man. Cool shit. I don't see, I've never heard anybody talk anything bad about Santana. You talk about a true, consummate, badass physical performer. So it sounds like you want to see big things for this motherfucker. So you want to see him just straight up single at this point, I'm guessing. Take on Ortiz. No, but I agree, Savage. Among others that I would add, but absolutely, they would all be getting some badass stories. Savage 1024, the Punisher with a 5 spot, says, and if I was running AEW, I would have you, BC, as the head of creative. Oh, Savage, that's a bold move. Some may consider me hard to work with because I know what needs to be done. I know how badass it'll be, and I want the opportunity to do it. And if somebody like Vince or Tony Khan is not going to let me do my full throttle vision, then I'm going to say, fuck you. I'm taking my fucking balls and I'm going home. Because I have all this shit and I know what can be done and shouldn't. I think about the advertisers. I think about what it's going to do for the performers. I think about what it's going to do for the company. So I never put anybody at a liable risk with my creativity. And that's what I would have to tell Vince or Triple H or Stephanie or Nick Khan, Tony Khan. If I'm a head of creative for a company, they have to trust me. They have to believe me. If I prove to be a fucking fail and a flop, show me the fucking door. Give me Das Boot. I grew up in fucking projects. It won't be the first time I got Das Boot. I have no problem admitting failure, getting Das Boot, saying I was wrong, saying I fucked up. No problem. But if I'm good, if I'm right, if the ratings are going up, if fans are getting intrigued, if shit is sticking, if people are really invested, then you better give me the ball and let me roll. Because I'm scoring touchdowns nonstop. It's going to be the highest scoring game you've ever fucking seen. That's how BC would run the company. And to show you that I'm not blowing smoke, you guys remember on this channel, I used to do amplified booking. If you're newer to the channel, instead of predictions or previews to pay-per-views, I used to do amplified booking. I would book the whole fucking card. I wanted my fucking unit, my audience, to see that I just don't say, oh, creativity is important, and I have it, and they don't. No. I would book the shit. And what happened was it was so fucking good, people, by the time the show was actually over, they said, damn, that sucked, BC. You got us excited with your booking. And you know what the best part is? Everything that I book, it's not outside the realm. It wouldn't cost them a fortune. They don't have to overthink it to where their brains start fucking smoking, overload, system shut down. No. Everything was in the realm of reality. It could easily have been done if people just care and give a shit. So I had to stop amplified booking, not because I didn't want to. I loved getting creative with the cards. You guys loved it. But we were literally getting depressed by it because the card would actually be put on the next day or that night, and it would suck. And you'd go back to my booking, and you'd go like, well, why couldn't that have just... What the fuck? But I wanted my unit to see, like everything I say, it's not moving mountains. It's not like it takes a lot of time or a lot of genius. I wanted my unit to see actual examples of good storytelling. Examples of how easy it is to just put some thought, some effort, and respect into what you're doing. That's what I always wanted my audience to see. Like, because you hear a lot of people talk a big game. They say, oh, creative and storylines and this and that, and they never give examples. They're just like, oh, yeah, okay, you know better than the people in the... Okay, buddy. You know, it's going to take a good year for things to... No, man. Literally right now. I'm hoping right now, today, guys, I'm really hoping that Stephanie, Christopher Pritchard, whoever, 617 writers, I hope they got around a table. They gave clear thought of an initial vision for Clash at the Castle, which, by the way, is 4 weeks away. And they thought this Monday, this Friday, let's begin an epic fucking storyline. Doesn't take 6 months, a year for that type. Storylines, man. Storylines. I'll never stop. When we have something epic in WWE storyline-wise, I hope you guys come to this fucking channel because we're going to throw a parade. We are going to throw a fucking parade. Right here, in the fucking studio, I'm throwing a fucking parade. Streamers, fucking, can I get pyro? Sasha, find out if I can bring pyro inside a building. Is that a fire hazard? Don't give me the fucking look like that. I'm just asking. Anyway, if I can get pyro, or maybe I'll get fucking... I'm not doing sparklers, seriously? Actually, maybe we'll have to do sparklers. The point is, I'm throwing a fucking parade. Savage 1024 The Punisher. I appreciate those words, man. I'm glad that you like my insight. And that I'm not just entertaining for you, but that you actually take the knowledge and understand it. You know, a lot of what BC does is entertainment, obviously. You know, I have to turn my own character and volume up to 10 when the red light goes on so you guys are entertained. You know? Like SummerSlam. Like our watch-along on SummerSlam. You know, obviously I wouldn't watch wrestling exactly like that if I'm just with one or two people, but because I had 1,000 of the amplified unit with me, of course, we turn the volume up and we act as if we're there in the fucking stadium, right? So our expressions were a little bit fucking, a little bit more upticked. But I appreciate that, man. I really do, Savage, man. Savage 1024. DB's up in here, man. DB, I gotta give DB a salute. Thanks for the coffee, man. Spot on, BC. Storylines are everything. Remember when Jake Roberts was tied on the ropes and Earthquake did his finisher on Damian? Fuck! Yes, I remember, dude. Bro, I was younger too, and I loved fucking Damian, man. I loved Damian. And Earthquake, Jimmy Hart, they put him in the ropes, and Jake Roberts had the watch that green bag, Damian, inside of it. And it was moving. It was moving. It's not like he put a fucking coconut in there and said, squash this bitch. Like Roddy Piper with a coconut over Jimmy Snuka's dome piece. No, this thing was moving. Damian's in there. Earthquake hits the ropes. He hits him again, and he squashes Damian. I will never forget that, DB. Traumatizing. That's what I mean, man. And that got Jake Roberts to another fucking, another level. I was just telling DB, I don't know if you caught yesterday's streams, but I was telling the story about Jake Roberts and biting. It was the roles were reversed. Macho Man was tied up in the ropes, and he was getting bit by the cobra. And I told the story about Jake backstage. Macho Man wanted Jake to get bit first to make sure it's not poisonous. Jake got pissed off because Macho Man didn't trust him. He's like, dude, it's not poisonous. I'm not going to bite myself. Macho would not do the segment if Jake didn't do it. So he had to get bit by his own snake. So when they were in the ring, on TV, you'll see this on Superstar, he smacks the cobra across the back of the head. The cobra jolts. He's pissed. Jake turns around and the cobra bites Macho Man. They couldn't get it off. His teeth were so far in. Macho Man's clung up on the ropes. The teeth are sank in. He couldn't get it off. So anyway, DB, I'm going a little broader. I mean, they used to do so many awesome segments like that. It wasn't just to set up a feud. Let's just have you come down after the match and beat each other up. We'll have the referees come down and break it up. No, they thought about shit. And that's not even moving mountains, guys. That's right there in the middle of the ring. They just used Damian, of all things, in a cool way. And it created a memory, like if you're BC, that you'll never forget. Exactly, DB. Exactly what I'm saying, man. Salut. Takara Turner, $199. No words, just showing the love, man. Smashing that up and showing the love. So Takara Turner, I'm going to give that love and respect right back. Salute. I only mentioned it once, man. We're already almost at that 200, man. Amp unit. Badass. Thank you. I appreciate that. Helps out the algorithm. Takara Turner, I appreciate that so much. Bakayuka's up in here, man. Bakayuka. 2-spot. At Santana Proud, 126 days left, 1:21 a.m., April 29, 2022. Is that when his contract ends? Oh no, 2022. That's today. Wait, Bakayuka. What does that mean? Santana Proud, 26 days left. April 29, 2022. Bakayuka, you still... Wait, April 2022? So his contract's already up? Or maybe are you saying for 2023? April 2020 plus 20... Oh, plus 126 days. Oh, so his contract ends August 30th? Oh, so it ain't February. Oh, fuck, dude. So if Triple H wants him, there he is. He's there for the taking if H wants him. Wow. So they tacked on the 126, which would make it the 30th of August. So that's why probably Savage was talking about Santana. Okay. Wow. I don't know. I mean, do you guys pull the trigger on Santana? Is he a big enough star for you? Do you think Triple H will know what to do with him? Do you think he'll take the time with him? Do you think Santana would thrive in WWE? I don't think he just wants to survive there. I mean, he could do that in AEW easily. I don't know. That's interesting. I didn't put too much thought into somebody like Santana running the ropes in WWE. Yeah, he's currently injured now, JR9. Absolutely. But when that was actually, didn't we call that live, JR9? Wasn't that Blood and Guts? When he was just on the fucking apron. I was calling all this shit. My chat was telling me oh shit, Santana's fucked up. People like JR9, you guys were telling me. I was like, wait, where is Santana now that I think about it? Santana's fucking flatlined on the fucking side the entire match almost. So I had to go back and actually see that shit. Yeah, Blood and Guts, I actually did that live with you guys. And I was probably the last one to know because there was so much chaos until I saw it in the chat. But, yeah, September. So you guys are thinking September he'd be back. But by then, you guys are telling me August his contract would be up. So does he stay or does he go now? Bakayuka, I appreciate that info, dude. Because for some reason BC had February. I knew it was close. I got somebody mixed up with February. I'm sure a lot of people. So Bakayuka, I appreciate that info, man. Hold on, let me see here. Savage 1024, the Punisher 10 spot. Savage says BC amplified. I would have let you go 100% if they can't work with you. That's their problem, not yours. BC, we would have the stories and save the bangers for the pay-per-views. So Savage is saying if he had me as head of creative, he would let me do what I want and let me run the ship. I appreciate that, Savage. Because that's not a given in today's wrestling, man. Everybody wants they'll give you a position, but they want to actually control you. It's the same thing with Vince McMahon and Christopher Pritchard. Brucey was the title of head of creative, but we heard every single week Vince McMahon would rip up every script and sometimes an hour and minutes before the show be fucking rewriting that. The wrestlers, a lot of the time, didn't know what they were doing till minutes before they stepped through the curtain. And you know who takes the fucking brunt of it? Brucey Pritchard. Vince knew what he was doing. He was hiring the yes men like Brucey. You get the title. You take the hit. You spend the whole week doing rough draft, and then I'm going to fucking rip it all up and do my vision anyway. So a lot of people don't do that, Savage. So I appreciate that. If you ever do run a business, man, I'm sure people are going to love to work for you. Yeah, Tony Khan is a dude that actually does listen, and then he just goes into like his own shit, you know? He starts off, he's like, yeah, I'm listening, you know? And he'll tell you, and then all of a sudden he'll just go and do whatever he wants. And that's where Corny, whether you love Corny or not, Corny is right. Like, there's a lot of time he could have struck on momentum, and he just didn't. Whether it was FTR, whether it was MJF, a couple of times. CM Punk, man, just took forever for him to really go the right way with. He just doesn't strike when the iron is hot. A lot of people come in like Keith Lee, and it's like, why do you even need time to fucking just let him fucking, the momentum's there. Fourth one, 2-spot. My favorite storyline, the Horsemen turn on Sting. Old school, man. Fuck yeah. And you're also talking about fourth one. You're talking about all old school dudes that would live the fucking gimmick. Fourth one. Fourth one. Ric Flair would not even go to the same hotel as Sting. Fuck ride with him. Wouldn't go to the same hotel when they were doing shit like that. Fourth one. Props on that one. They literally told the fucking stories through real life as well. They would make sure that whether kayfabe was alive or not, you had the best chance to believe in it. Fully go all in and believe in it. I love the blast from the past, man. All these fucking old school storylines. You're talking my language. Big Nang up in here with a fiver. Big Nang, what up, dude? Which Chris Jericho gimmick is your favorite? Y2J, best in the world, light jacket, the list? You just made the list! I used to be able to do that really good. The painkiller or present? Ooh, Big Nang. First of all, let me just give props to Chris Jericho because he's one of the few ones that literally can reinvent himself on a fucking snap of a finger, blink of an eye, drop of a hat. That's not easy to do, to reinvent yourself. So Chris Jericho is fucking amazing in that way. I'll tell you my least favorite, Big Nang. My least favorite was, I don't know what you want to call it, when he was in the fucking suit in WWE. What would you guys call that one? You guys remember when he would just come to the suit and he would talk really softly, and it would take forever, and he is the one that's going to save the company. Was that 2008, JR9? Do we have a name for that one? I don't know which version that would be, but that was my least favorite character. It was dragging on, man. He talked so softly, and you know me, I'm an amplified motherfucker. So when Jericho was doing that, I was like, oh no, he's basically just like a Miz. What a Miz is or has been. He's just coming to the suit, talking like that. He reminded me a lot of the Miz, because sometimes the Miz talks like low like that, drags his words out. Was that the best in the world at what he does? Okay, well then that's my least. Yeah, it's when he had the short hair and everything. Yeah, I still remember the image. I guess that's the best in the world at what he does. Light jacket was phenomenal. When the lights would go out and he's just fucking, he's got his whole gimmick on, his pose, and it's all lighting up. I mean, that captivated anybody, whether it's a fucking kid, a grown adult, ladies, they would stop. You know how many times I watch pro wrestling? Females, a lot of them didn't even watch wrestling. And they'd be like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. They'd stop what they're doing and watch this guy's jacket because it's fucking sparkling bananas. I mean, that's captivating, man. So it was just cool. So innovative. Okay, I'm going to give you, I don't know what you want to call this, Big Nang. I'm going to give you one you probably weren't even thinking of. This is going to be a dark horse. My favorite Chris Jericho, I don't know what the title would be. I'm going to call him Tantrum Jericho, was in WCW. Not the list from WWE. I don't know if you're considering that the list Jericho. But when he was in WCW, he was pissed off because Bischoff was giving all his time to NWO and Sting and Goldberg and you name it. And he went into the middle of the ring and he had a fucking list of fucking moves. He called himself the man of Was it 1,000? It was like a play on Dean Malenko, because Malenko used to call himself a man of 1,000 holds or some shit. So Jericho was like, I'm a man of 1,001. And he had a list, and the motherfucker was calling it out as they had to go to commercial. When they came back, motherfucker was still calling out moves. He had a list. The thing was fucking rolling out of the ring. He had a list. How funny is that? You can't even fucking fathom that shit. To this day, I laugh just thinking about it. And it's Jericho, so just picture it. This is earlier on in his career. This is WCW days. And he's in the middle of the ring with like a fucking list that's a mile long. And he's listing 1,001 holds. I still laugh. I still laugh at it, man. Oh my God. Arm drag, arm bar, arm dingle, arm beanie, arm banooza, arm banana. It was great, bro. Oh, dude. So, who has that? Big Nang. What would you call that, Big Nang? That a temper tantrum Jericho? Because that's when he was flipping out. He was throwing chairs against the post. Fucking just flipping out every time he would lose or just be out there and not be given a chance. That's my favorite Jericho. He was just so funny, so good. Even before WWE, that's when he was being put on the map. You guys remember Y2J. When he first got to WWE, his name value was so big because of that Chris Jericho. He started just doing his own thing and being really funny at it. Big Name, do you know what you want to call that? Because I don't want to get that mixed up with the list of Jericho, which was in WWE. Or the other list. You just made the list! Lionheart Jericho. Yeah, Lionheart, right? Yeah, we'll just call it Lionheart Chris Jericho then. Yeah, Big Nang. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just call it the Lionheart Jericho then, man, which is what he was. Yeah, we don't have to give it a funny fucking gimmick. We'll just call him the Lionheart. Yeah, well, there you go. That's my favorite Jericho. Probably not what anybody was expecting because I'm going back, but nothing made me laugh more than that. Dude was obviously in his prime or just getting into it even. Yep, that's my favorite Jericho. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch that at some point, actually, Big Nang. That's how fucking awesome it was. Unique Butterfly, 2-spot. Unique says, it's Bruce's fault. It's hot as fuck outside. Unique. One of my tried and trues, man. I love my tried and trues because they could tell jokes that we did long ago. If you're newer to the channel, we always have fun with people that always blame Bruce Pritchard. When the poor guy was getting his scripts ripped up every week by Vince McMahon. This poor guy never had a week go by where it literally wasn't being over 50% rewritten or whatever the fuck. So it can amuse Vince McMahon or tickle his fucking fancy. So we had some fun on the channel. We always say, it's Bruce's fault. And you talk about hot outside, man. It's going to be over 100 degrees over the next couple of days. Unique Butterflies. Stay fucking cool. DB, 2-spot, and I gave the like button the Rude Awakening. By the way, over 200 on the ups as we go toward 300. I appreciate that, guys. DB didn't just press it. DB gave the Rude Awakening to that son of a bitch. Fuck yeah, dude. Let me give a salute to that properly. Always appreciate that, DB. And another 5 says, remember, from DB. Another 5-spot coffee says, remember when Rick Rude was hitting on Jake Roberts' wife and had his wife on his ring gear? Fuck yeah, bro. For those of you that don't know what DB's saying, man, Jake Roberts and Ravishing Rick Rude were in a feud. Again, stories were told back then. There's a crazy concept. Jake Roberts' wife was brought into it. Rick Rude really sticking it to Jake Roberts to the point where he literally had, back in the day, Rick Rude would have like the airbrush, the air painted on tights. Roberts' wife was on the tights. I mean, it's like Ric Flair and Randy Savage when Ric Flair orchestrated the whole affair with Miss Elizabeth to get underneath the Macho Man's skin. I mean, that's storytelling, guys. You just got to go the extra mile. You ain't got to move mountains, but you got to care about it. DB, man, again, you're talking my language. That was my heyday, DB. Those are my favorite days in pro wrestling. So fuck yeah, I remember that. Man, you guys are taking it back to the day, bro. I could do that for hours. Takara Turner, $4.99. Takara Turner for the coffee. I appreciate that. Let me give a proper salute. Takara Turner says, I remember the storyline with Jake Roberts and Macho Man and Elizabeth. That the storyline got me into wrestling. Takara, what's part? Because that was a long storyline with a lot of fun. There was the snake bite, obviously, but do you remember the wedding? Do you guys remember the wedding of Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth? SummerSlam 91, they got married. It was a double main event at SummerSlam 91. One half was the match made in hell. Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter and his cronies. And I believe Sid Justice was the special guest referee, I want to say. That was the night that Ultimate Warrior held up Vince McMahon for more money. Vince McMahon had no choice but to give Warrior more money. The second Warrior got back through the curtain after the match, Vince McMahon was standing there, stopped the Warrior, and said, "You're fired." He fired the Warrior. So he gave him the extra money, and then he said, "Now you're fired." Warrior stood up. That was that night, guys. It was the match made in hell. And the double main event, the other side of it was the match made in heaven. It was a wedding between Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. Now, that's how we ended the night. What you didn't see, it was on Coliseum Video. Now, my old school dogs out there, man, you remember Coliseum Video on VHS? The wedding reception, there was a present for Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. There was a present for him, all right, at the reception. So everyone's having a good time partying. Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth open the present. They don't know what it is. It's a fucking cobra snake. Miss Elizabeth flips out. Macho Man doesn't know what to do. He turns around. Jake Roberts and Undertaker are right there to fuck him up. The Undertaker joining forces with that dark, evil Jake Roberts. That was one of the best wedding segments I've ever fucking seen. Storytelling, guys. Storytelling. Jake Roberts and The Undertaker, I told this story over the last 24 hours. They put Ultimate Warrior in the casket with a bunch of snakes. Jake Roberts was trying to train Warrior to be a better warrior, you know, and fucking be able to exceed in every circumstance. He puts Warrior in a coffin, and he traps him in there with snakes. He's not actually on the Warrior side. Undertaker shows up into frame, looks over the casket, the camera from Bruce Pritchard, who, by the way, was directing these back in the day. Bruce Pritchard was one of the best directors for all the Undertaker segments. And the camera look up, Undertaker's looking down, Warrior's pounding the casket. Help! Help! Screaming for help. Nobody's helping him. He's in a casket with cobras and snakes. And Undertaker and Jake Roberts are talking shit. I don't know what got me on with that, but the bottom line is, Takara Turner, those are the storylines that fucking got BC into loving this industry, man. I mean, you could not make that shit up. How just epic it was. You couldn't make it up to people that never saw that, and you tell them this, they either wouldn't believe it or just go, "Oh, cool." You know, they don't know how epic it was. They'll just go like, "Oh, cool. All right, that was before my time, though. I started watching in 2002. Or I started watching in 2004. Or I started to watch during the Attitude Era." So they don't even remember the 80s into the 90s. And how fucking, they only had a 1 hour show, so storylines were everything. If you didn't tell a good story, you were not getting an audience. Anyway, man, this has been one of my favorite streams ever. We're just taking a stroll down memory lane, man. Takara Turner. Appreciate that big time. And Big Nang. Big Nang will be the final Superman with a 5 spot. Says Gorilla Monsoon, the match made in hell is next. Bobby Heenan, the wedding is next. Oh, Big Nang, do I fucking mix that? The match made in hell is the... Here we go, Bobby. The match made in hell is the wedding is next. That's how epic Bobby Heenan is and how well he worked with Gorilla Monsoon. Gorilla would be so stoic and serious, and Bobby Heenan would turn it into a joke. In other words, guys, Gorilla Monsoon is saying the match made in hell is next, and Bobby Heenan is calling Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth the match made in hell instead of the match made in heaven. Come on, bro. Bobby Heenan is just the shit. You talk about a golden era in wrestling, man. You had Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon calling the action. I even used to love Lord Alfred Hayes. Does anybody remember Lord Alfred Hayes? Welcome, everybody, to Coliseum Home Video. Today, we have a special look at the Gene Okerlund interview with Sergeant Slaughter turning his back on the United States. Lord Alfred Hayes, bro. Jesse the Body Ventura. Oh, shut up, McMahon. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, Jesse. It's going to be a big match. Hulk Hogan's coming down to the... Oh, screw Hogan, McMahon. Do you need to change your pants, McMahon? It's Hulk Hogan. It ain't the second coming. Oh, Jesse, calm down. Oh, bro, this is the shit that I grew up with, man. Anyway, I don't know how we got into most of this shit, but going down memory lane with a blast from the past is the best. I guess the point, let's put a bow on this, man. The point is, just because it's 2022, doesn't mean that storylines can just be non-existent anymore. It doesn't mean that we need to see one banger after a banger after a banger. It doesn't mean I need every match to be 25 minutes or I need to see 10 flips and dive fucking sequences. You know, put stories to shit and make the pay-per-views meaningful, man. You see how we just went back through memory lane, guys? I really want the next generations to do that. 30 years from now, I hope fans can do that. I don't know what storylines they're going to be talking about, though. So what are they going to talk about? The time when Pac did 9 suicide dives in a row? Or when Mustafa Ali did 3 450s in a row? I don't know. Storylines, man. You know what I mean? I really want the next generations to be able to have the type of fun and intrigue that we had growing up. I want them to have that. And I'm hoping that we do get that, man. This is our best chance. Triple H and Stephanie have control. I don't know how much. I don't know what Vince is letting them do, but it's power. We saw the signs of it. There's signs of it this past Monday. I am fully behind H, Stephanie. Anybody that truly wants to make that product better, I'm behind it. I'm going to fucking cheer them on. I hope storylines are at the front of the problems that need to be fixed and attended to. That's the biggest thing, man. Paul German. 5 spot. Paul. Appreciate that, man. Hi, BC. Never missed a vid. Remember Undertaker versus Jake the Snake Roberts? Of course I do. Of course. WrestleMania 8, they actually had a match, did they not? WrestleMania 8, I believe. Well, who was Jimmy Snuka? Undertaker took on Snuka at WrestleMania 7. So Roberts was WrestleMania 8. Now, the funny story with that, not so funny, Jake Roberts didn't necessarily want to do a job on that night. So there was a little bit of a fuck finish. I think Undertaker may have still... Was that a count out or was that a pinfall? Possible that it was a count out. Tombstone on the outside. No, regardless, even if he did want to take the pin, Jake Roberts did not want to take the pin. And there was a big... problem backstage, and I think Roberts left WWE not that night passed. Yeah, I think either McMahon had to let him go or he left. But Jake Roberts was not happy with that WrestleMania 8. You go back and watch the match, you can tell there was some friction on that shit. So I do remember that. Yeah, Jimmy Snuka took on Undertaker at WrestleMania 7, though. So yes, who was that? Paul. Of course. I remember everything leading up to it. But the thing that sticks in my dome piece the more is the actual match, because I remember Jake Roberts was not happy. He really wanted to take the dub. Paul, appreciate it, dude. Absolutely, I remember that. Dante Jaron 23. Dante's up in this bitch. What up, dude? Let me give a proper salute. 80s and 90s WWF equals the best years in wrestling. For BC, absolutely, I agree. No doubt, Dante. For everybody, it's going to be different because some people started watching at different eras. Some people will think that 2001, 2002, or Ruthless Aggression was the was the best time, because that's when they were growing up too. So that's the wrestlers that really connect, So when BC talks about Hulk Hogan or Macho Man or Warrior or Old School Undertaker, Jake Roberts, the Mountie, the Big Boss Man, Mr. Perfect, the Killer Bees, the Bushwhackers, Earthquake, Typhoon. These are people that they don't really know that much about. So for different people, it's going to be different. But Dante Jarren 23 for BC, no doubt, man. That was even more than the Attitude Era. If I could go back to pro wrestling's heyday, it would not be the Attitude Era, believe it or not. A lot of people think BC was just an Attitude Era guy. It would actually be 80s into the 90s WWF. Actually. You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. I used to do that much better back in the day, man. Much love. Salute to Scott Hall up there, man. Rocking those heavens. Probably having a fucking match right now with Macho Man. If Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior aren't having fucking taking down one coffee after another. That's another story. I know I got to wrap this up. This was supposed to be 1 hour. We're going toward 2 hours. You guys heard the stories, right? When Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior were in the same locker room or on the same card, they would take the coffee. It would be a whole fucking keg, basically, like one of those big Gatorade coolers. They would take it. They would run to their own dressing room. Like they'd go to a separate dressing room. They would lock the door, and they would take all the coffee. They would find out where the fucking coffee was, get it, take it. Now, here's the thing. Macho Man and Warrior don't need any more coffee. Do you know who we're talking about? Randy Savage and Jim Hellwig, they didn't need extra coffee. Then again, a lot of people say BC doesn't need any extra coffee, and I have about 10 cups a day now, so but that's probably true. That's probably why we're so fucking wired and amplified. But I used to love stories like that. I just picture them just getting hopped up on a bunch of coffee, and then when Vince says, "Damn it, it's time to go out there and perform," they just start. Warrior doesn't take a lot to start running at that point. He's already on fucking half of a Gatorade keg of coffee. Imagine them backstage, man. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, let me get the last cup. Yeah, there's one cup left. You don't get the last cup. The world is telling the Warrior he needs to be satisfied through the stratosphere. Oh, no, man, I should get the last one. I'm going first tonight, man. No, the universe is telling the Warrior I need the last cup tonight. That would be so much fun to eavesdrop on their conversations. Those dudes were fucking wild. Oh, man. I'm having too much fucking fun. I actually have shit to do, guys. Savage 1024, the putter shirt, 5 spots. Savage says, do you remember when Steve Austin got ran over by a truck and the person who did it was Rikishi? That was funny as hell. Savage, not only do I remember, I brought that up earlier. I was talking about storylines and how, Triple H of all people knows how important they are. Triple H did that whole thing with Austin and Rikishi, the run over angle. That captivated everybody. We were like, did you see what happened? Who the fuck was that? How are they going to end this? You had to see it, right? That shit was fucking epic, Savage. So, yeah, not only do I remember, I've been talking about that the last couple of days, too, to really put in there what storytelling is and how Triple H was involved in a lot of that shit. Triple H doing the marrying Stephanie thing in front of Vince on the Tron, and he rolls up to a fucking chapel in Vegas with a drugged up Stephanie and marries the boss's daughter. That's storytelling. No doubt, Savage. Not just was that funny, that was... that's exactly what should be happening. No, Rikishi did it for The Rock. Guys, I think I got all my supers. There was a lot on a fucking random Wednesday afternoon. But I appreciate fucking all of you guys. You know that. And that's why I stuck around for almost another hour. Guys, thank you for the chat. Thanks for the discussion. I love doing this. And as long as you guys fucking love it too, man, we're going to keep rocking with Amplified Live. The MJF storyline, which was the main focal point, we just got to wait and see. If it's storyline, that's cool. I don't mind being worked. And I'm glad that it was long-term storytelling, but they do have to start. They have to get this going, man. MJF is too valuable to just be sitting out for 3, 4, 5 months. It's already on month 3, guys. If they go to All Out, then that's going to be the 4th month of no MJF at a time where the company needs him. And if there's really this much beef that they can't come to a decision, maybe you got to let MJF go. And if that's the case, is the grass greener on the other side? Triple H and Stephanie working with MJF? BC Amplified, guys. That's all I got for you on this one. Again, I think I got all my supers. If I did not, I'll put together the fucking list afterwards. In my very next video, I will give you guys a shout out, so you guys know how that rocks, man. Sometimes I miss a name or two. It just doesn't pop up in my chat. So I will get you guys any super thankers down below over the next 24 hours or the rest of this weekend. I will get to you in the next video. Guys, whoop the rest of the week's ass and the weekend. I don't know when my next vid is going to be. I could possibly do an Amplified live tomorrow, or I have to leave really early, in which case I wouldn't be. And there's none on Friday. So I don't know when the next vid's going to be, but just stay Amplified, and we'll be rocking soon enough. Sound good? All right, go whoop the day's ass, man, in the rest of the weeks. Amplified, man, top guy, and I'm fucking out. Sasha, do me a favor. Hit my motherfucking music. Do it on 2. I'll just do it on 2, yeah. Because it doesn't matter. Because I can do that for 8:30. Let him hear the beat. Let him hear the beat. Short. Check you guys, man. Thank you. We'll see you possibly next week. I'm not sure. Hopefully tomorrow. Check you guys, man.